Heroes Like Us is a series intended at sharing comic book characters from various backgrounds and identities. We won't always get everything right, so feel free to make amendments and corrections in the comments. They're always appreciated. What's not appreciated, however, is any form of hate speech or intolerance, so comments of that nature will be immediately deleted and those users blocked from this channel. This is a place of education and celebration. Welcome to IA and welcome to Heroes Like Us, where we look at a certain identity and then look at characters that have that identity from comic books. Today we're talking about Canadian. This one has been requested a lot, and we're just getting into it. There's already at least 2 or 3 parts planned, and so this is just part number 1. So if your characters that you love aren't here, they will be. We're going to start this list with the most popular Canadian hero, and we're just going to get this one out of the way, Wolverine. His real name is James Howlett from Marvel Comics. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth here because most of you, even casual fans, know enough about Wolverine. Basically, he is a mutant born with a healing factor that keeps him young for a very long time. It also lets him recuperate from wounds. And when I say recuperate from wounds, it could be something small, scratches, gunshots. It could be complete and utter annihilation. He can regrow. It depends on who's writing the comic. His power fluctuates wildly. But because of his ability, he was recruited by a Canadian organization called Weapon X that experimented on him, and because he could survive these procedures, they grafted a metal called adamantium to his skeleton, so his bones are basically indestructible. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. He also has claws that are made of bone that come from his hands. Okay, so those are an actual thing that he had before the Weapon X program. But Weapon X coated those claws in adamantium, so now he has these super sharp claws made of basically indestructible metal. When they did this procedure on him, they basically erased his memory. I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional, but he kind of wandered around for a long time, aimless, lost. That's kind of where he took on the name Logan. He didn't really know much about his history or his real name. He eventually found his way to the X-Men, where he served for a long, long time, eventually becoming a leader of the X-Men, basically running the X-Men. Until he actually died just a few years ago. And how do you kill him? Suffocation. So he was coated in adamantium and basically became a statue and died. He, of course, won't be gone forever because no one stays dead. But they did find a way around this, and they found a Wolverine from a alternate timeline called Old Man Logan, which is kind of what the new movie is going to be based on. And they brought him into our mainstream continuity, so there's now a Wolverine that is much older, much more experienced, alongside the X-Men. Wolverine has only been played by one person in live action, and that is Hugh Jackman, who's been playing him since the year 2000. Now, up next, we're going to start talking about the Canadian superhero team known as Alpha Flight. Just to preface, some characters are going to be in this video, but we're also going to spread them out, so we're only going to cover a few in each video. So we're going to start with the twins, Northstar and Aurora from Marvel Comics. They are twins, and they discovered that when they come together, they can create this massive concussive light blast. But even when they're separate, they both have speed and the ability to fly. But when they come together, this is amplified. So the two of them kind of worked together for a time till eventually their paths started to diverge. Northstar had a much more positive life. He was featured in our Heroes Like Us gay edition because he did fall in love with, and then marry the man of his dreams. His sister, however, went a very different path, where she kind of was not raised in a very good place. Her mutant abilities were not looked upon fondly. She was beaten until eventually her mind shattered, and she now has multiple personalities as well as schizophrenia. So she is constantly struggling with these mental handicaps that keep her from fully functioning as a heroine in the Marvel Universe. Up next from Marvel Comics is a younger character, relatively new, by the name of Transonic, Laurie Trome. Basically, when Transonic finds out about her powers, she is able to transform her body into different forms that can help her travel at ease. So she can fly at supersonic speeds, and so she can change her body to be like a bullet, or she can give herself wings in order to fly smoothly. But she always has this kind of blue metallic skin. Again, she's relatively new, so she hasn't done a whole lot. Let's move on. Up next, we're going to talk about a villain by the name of Wendigo from Marvel Comics. Most prominently, this is George Baptiste and Paul Cartier. So the Wendigo is actually a villain, and this is actually a curse given to people that cannibalize each other. And so the first Wendigo was created, at least the Marvel Comics version of Wendigo, was created when a group of people were kind of stuck in the snow and one of them had to survive. And so he turned into the Wendigo when he did what he had to do. Now, this first Wendigo was saved by a second person that tried to take the curse away and then took that curse on himself. So that's kind of the two main Wendigos we have are these two guys. The Wendigo is basically super strong, durable, goes toe-to-toe with the Hulk, fights Wolverine. Like, he's a heavy hitter, but he lives kind of in the woods of Canada. So he doesn't really come into mainstream stories that often. So an interesting villain, but infrequent. Now let's move on to DC's most prominent Canadian character, and that is Booster Gold. Booster Gold is a little confusing because his pre-52 and New 52 stories are a little different. So back in the day, Booster Gold was not Canadian. He was a time traveler from Gotham City in the future that had all this technology, which includes time travel, and came back to our time and used his knowledge and these skills to make money and become famous. But when the New 52 happened, they rewrote his history and said that he is from Canada. Now, Booster Gold, aside from all this technology, doesn't have anything special about him. So he has like a ring that allows him to fly. He has these suits that, allow him to withstand damage and shoot blasts and all that stuff, but there is nothing special about him as a person. Now, when Booster Gold was first introduced, he was a bit of a joke. So he was kind of always not doing great, or he would misinterpret things. He was kind of this foolish character and a bit of a joke, both in continuity and by the fans. But in the New 52, they've started to give him some depth, including living with the weight of things that he knows his decision causes this, or he knows what's going to happen, and he has to live with that and that guilt. And he becomes a much more three-dimensional character. So in the newer stories, there actually is substance to him. Lastly is another member of Alpha Flight from Marvel Comics, Guardian. Guardian is James Hudson Jr. He is the leader of Alpha Flight. Now, like Booster Gold, there's nothing inherently special about James. He just has a suit called the Guardian suit that allows him to fly. He's durable, he can fight, things like that. And basically, he uses this suit to kind of lead Alpha Flight in battle. But it gets a little complicated because he withstands some damage that should have killed him. And this alien race kind of repairs him, but they don't understand that it's a suit, and so they intertwine the suit into his body when they bring him basically back to life. So now Guardian is basically a cyborg. In addition to the basic skills that it gives him, such as flight and super strength, he also has some control over gravity. So when he's flying, he flies faster when he's going in a certain direction, or he can use gravity to move objects. It's not clearly defined, but it's interesting. He is married to another member of Alpha Flight, which we will talk about in another video, by the name of Heather Hudson, who goes by the name of Vindicator. So I think that's enough for this video. That's what, 5 or 6 people. We are going to do at least 2 more. So let me know what Canadian heroes you're looking forward to seeing. If it's about Alpha Flight, which Alpha Flight characters are your favorite, and we will get to them soon, I promise. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Heroes Like Us.